Hey folks, Jackdaw here, ready to delve into a starting guide for Baldur's Gate 3's romance system. In case you haven't already seen, BG3 has already stirred a fiery passion among fans, especially after that infamous bear scene that sent the gaming world abuzz during Larian Studios' last Panel from Hell livestream. Today, get ready for an immersive RPG experience brimming with love, companionship, and captivating connections as I explore how romance works in BG3, discovering the romanceable characters available, and also learn how to earn their approval. Just a heads up, there will be some mild spoilers ahead, particularly regarding each of the characters and how they work, but don't let that stop you from flirting your way through this adventure. Alright, let's hit that flirt dialogue option and jump into an introduction on BG3's romance system with many tips and advice abound. So in the vast realms of BG3, gender plays a lesser role compared to your character's race, which takes center stage in shaping interactions and dialogue choices within the world around you. Your own dynamic background combined with your specific skill proficiencies add depth to your own romantic journey. BG3 embraces an inclusive and open-hearted approach to romance, breaking the boundaries of race. So rest assured, the type of character that you specifically want to create won't hinder your ability to find love. However, don't expect love to come easily with the single bat of one eyelash. Romancing characters in BG3 is no walk in the park. It's a selective process, and you'll need to put in the effort and dedication to win the affection of potential companions. Building trust is vital, as these captivating characters won't just open their hearts to anyone. Becoming a loyal, friendly, and reliable confidant is the first step to embarking on a passionate romance. To unlock a meaningful romance, gaining approval from the character that you desire is key. Each individual in the game has a very distinct personality with so many different likes and dislikes that I will get to very soon. But having said that, you have to be mindful of each choice and action you make during your adventure. Every single thing that you do will have a knock-on effect in terms of these characters' approval or disapproval of you, so being mindful is essential. Pay close attention to their reactions during conversations, as your decisions can either warm their hearts or leave them in the cold. You've also got to keep in mind that it is not a simple right or wrong affair. The characters that you encounter are rich and multifaceted, each with their own unique viewpoints that may differ from your own. Building a strong bond with them involves carefully balancing their preferences and your own choices. So in essence, while yes, you want to be building approval with them and not trying to get them to disapprove, it's also essential to stay true to yourself throughout this journey. Agreeing with everything they say might not always lead you to the best outcomes, as the consequences can also be diverse, with apparently marriage as one example. Gain their approval, but never lose sight of who you are. Staying true to yourself is crucial, even if it means not always seeing eye to eye with a potential romance. You never know, you might always catch eyes for somebody else while being true to yourself. Beyond romance, your decisions have significant consequences anyway. Upsetting companions repeatedly can lead them to turn against you or part ways with your party for good. Staying attuned to your companion's approval is crucial, and the game provides notifications for approval or disapproval during actions. And the last thing to keep in mind is that romantic prospects aren't just limited to official origin characters. You can engage in romances with others using specific dialogue choices, even if they don't accompany you on your journey. So remain open to unconventional and unexpected romances that may lead to passionate relationships. Alright, that's enough of an introduction. Let's go through each of the romanceable characters, explain a bit about them, who they are, and how you can briefly gain their approval without spoiling too much of this journey. Within the vast world of Faerun, you'll find companions whose hearts may be won, provided you navigate the intricacies of relationships with care and understanding. First up, we have Shadowheart, somebody who is on top of my list who I want to romance first. Shadowheart is a devoted cleric of Shah who has a slow burn romance that begins with a shared bottle of wine and a kiss during Act 1 at your camp's party. If you've already made other plans for the night, she will tease you with a first come, first served remark, but she declines any shared arrangements. Choosing her as a romance in Act 1 does open the path to more intimate moments in later acts. Shadowheart's approval is earned through cunning manipulation, exposing lies, expressing anti-Gith sentiments, showing kindness to animals, aiding the poor, and being compassionate towards children. On the other hand, she disapproves of being deceived, unnecessary violence, pro-Gith Gith views humiliation and favoritism towards the wealthy. Shadowheart's feelings towards Lae'zel and the Gith are very negative, so aligning with them can damage your relationship almost instantly. Her preference lies in trickery and eloquence rather than brute force, making her favour those with the skills of a trickery cleric and classes like druids and rangers who treat animals with care. Next we have Gale, an unreserved and charming mage who offers a chance to form a deep connection through a mage's mind meld early on, leading to a memorable romantic moment at camp. Despite unveiling several complications in his past, Gale seeks to stand together with you in the future right after your first night together. To gain Gale's approval, demonstrate intelligence, proficiency in magic, non-violent approaches, kindness, and an appreciation for poetry. Avoid unnecessary violence, display curiosity, and refrain from judging his condition to avoid disapproval. Gale's approval has distinct stages, and discussing his story at camp will raise the cap of how much he can like you. As a peaceful and good-natured individual, he values methods that eschew violence. Additionally, proving yourself as an intellectual and aiding him with his condition will further endear you to him. Next we have our Githyanki companion Lae'zel, who presents a direct and intense romance. Despite her initial coldness, Lae'zel propositions you boldly with a desire for physical intimacy. However, she remains emotionally distant even as a fellow Githyanki. To gain Lae'zel's approval, express pro-Gith sentiments, cooperate with her, demonstrate aggression, showcase combat expertise, and prioritize efficiency. Disapproval stems from non-violent approaches, disagreements, distractions, and anti-Gith statements. Appealing to Lae'zel requires aligning with her single-minded focus on Gith goals, embracing a direct and brutal approach to problem solving, avoiding conflicts, and deviating from her path will anger her, and her deep-seated opposition to Shadowheart further complicates matters. Literally, a romance with Lae'zel or Shadowheart is chalk and cheese. Next on our list we have Astarion, our vampire companion who is very much driven by his own interests. Despite his flirtatious demeanour, Astarion reveals a tortured backstory to his romance. To gain his approval, you need to support his whims, side with monsters, and engage in ruthless thinking, dramatics, and displays of power. Disapproval with him stems from altruism, compromise, weakness, restraint, and judgment regarding his condition as a vampire. To get on his good side, show understanding and cooperation in helping him with his unique condition. Astarion appreciates flamboyancy and dislikes boring behaviour, viewing altruism as a sign of weakness. He also favours those who work with entities typically considered monsters. Although he may flirt, earning his genuine appreciation requires effort and understanding his complex nature. So take that as you will. And speaking of Wyll, our warlock and monster hunter, who is known as the Blade of the Frontiers, is drawn to strength, bravery, and kindness. However, his pact with a half-devil patron influences his approval based on who you support. Intimate moments in his romance are affected by the lingering presence of the Cambion Minthara, causing many complications, as you can imagine. To gain Wyll's approval, you need to do the opposite of what you would do with Astarion. You need to demonstrate heroics, altruism, and a willingness to help those in need while fighting against villains. Disapproval arises from collaborating with villains, displaying selfishness or entitled behaviour, and expressing pro-devil or pro-goblin sentiments. Wyll aspires to be a classic swashbuckling hero, so embodying those qualities will help resonate with Wyll. Strive to take the moral stand, avoid siding with monsters, especially devils and goblins, and show empathy for Wyll and his history with them. Next we have Karlach, our newly introduced tiefling character who joins as an origin character and companion. Karlach offers an adorable and feel-good romance. Although her specific likes and dislikes remain unknown at this point, Larian showcased a date scene with her and our custom character. Thrilled by the idea, she suggests a classic dinner and conversation affair, meeting at a restaurant in the city of Baldur's Gate, engaging in a getting-to-know-you questions despite an unamused waiter. While many details will be revealed in the full launch, Karlach's romance promises a heartwarming and charming story for those seeking a feel-good experience. Next we have Halsin, the man of the hour, our druid party member, who offers an intriguing romance that includes the now infamous bear love scene that I'm sure you've all witnessed. Halsin is depicted as a heart of gold guy who is physically strong but equally gentle. Despite despite his beastly qualities, he promises to restrain himself for your sake. While his specific likes and dislikes equally remain unknown, although we can assume it's best to align with the tieflings and follow somewhat of a morally good playthrough, his unique and adventurous romance is sure to captivate anybody. Apparently his romance will allow you to explore even more daring possibilities if you so desire. Now, in the opposite of Halsin and somebody who is not going to be romanceable if you have Halsin in your party, we have Minthara, our drow elf leader, who's equally a true soul leading the goblin camp. Now, you must align with Minthara following somewhat of an evil playthrough. If you do this, you will be able to have a one-night stand with Minthara following a very specific evil pathline. So to get this romance, you need to work with her during the goblin raid by offering to aid them, and then when you win the raid, you get to express your support and openness to change. During the party afterwards, you can tell Minthara that you're hers, and later on, she will choose to share your bedroll for a spicy scene. Now, we do have more romance and relationships able to develop. Because Baldur's Gate 3 is not yet upon us, we don't really know the specifics of that. However, Minsc, like other companions yet to be added into the game, will equally be romanceable, as confirmed by Larian Studios. Details about his romance and preference are yet to be revealed, but we can all look forward to the possibilities of developing a romantic relationship with such an iconic character. And we also have Jaheira, who will be joining the party as a companion. However, a romance with her is not currently expected. There has been no word on that front. Now, the last character that we're currently aware that a romance exists is the Dream Lover, and this is a custom NPC character that you create just after you've created your own custom character. You select their race, their appearance, and their sex, essentially creating who your character dreams about. Interactions with this Dream Lover are tied to the main narrative as you venture through your sleep, bringing out your true soul / illithid wisdom mechanic. Through using your illithid wisdom in specific conversations leads to even more dream sequences involving the Dream Lover. The first dream will occur after 2 uses of illithid wisdom, offering illithid powers as a reward. The second and third dreams follow after 4 and 5 uses of illithid wisdom, respectively, and those dreams will present tempting choices and consequences impacting your character's campaign. As I've only experienced the extent of this in the early access, further developments of this relationship are definitely expected in the full release of BG3, so remain somewhat excited if you want to kind of fulfill that romance out, even though it definitely seems doomed from the start. Equally, you could always create somebody really ugly so you don't want to romance them. Don't create somebody really attractive like I did and kind of was very much enticed to follow that through. But yeah, there's one for you if you're interested and want to follow a darker side that will most definitely lead into your inevitable death. Now, more spoilers here for how to specifically romance somebody, at least in Act 1, hence why I'm putting this at the end, just so each of you who are trying to avoid as many spoilers as possible. This is literally going to go through how you will specifically romance somebody with specific plot mentions. To embark on a romance journey with your favourite characters in Baldur's Gate 3, you're going to be earning that character's approval through dialogue and actions, hopefully by being your very best version of yourself, by being truthful to yourself, and then naturally gaining approval and attaching to somebody by being yourself, of course. Having naturally gravitated to somebody and engaging in dialogue, you will infiltrate the goblin camp and eliminate its leaders to save the tiefling evacuees. You will then attend the celebration at the camp after completing this quest. You will then approach the character that you want to romance and engage them in a conversation. If they have developed a liking for you, a dialogue option to invite them to bed will become available. The wording will vary with each character, but then you will return to your bedroll and the narrator will prompt you to select the companion you want to share it with, and you can choose from those you invited to bed. And then you will enjoy a special cutscene depicting the romance encounter with your chosen companion. By following these steps, you will have successfully connected with your beloved in Act 1, and hopefully throughout the rest of the game, depending on what kind of relationship and romance you are looking to develop. We're still not very much sure if you can romance 2 characters at the same time. At the moment, you can flirt with them and invite them all to bed, but I do feel like towards the end of Act 1, it kind of feels like a lock-in point for then the further extent of that relationship if it will go any further. But I'm not sure that when Act 2 and Act 3 comes along, and if you don't want to continue that relationship or you naturally gravitate towards somebody else, if you can then swap out that romance. I would say it's unlikely, but we could absolutely be totally surprised with the depths that Larian has gone with this. I'm just more akin to the Dragon Age approach where you kind of flirt with everybody, throw some feelers out there, and then you do lock in. And I feel like that's what BG3 is doing, but we're going to have to find that out the hard way when BG3 launches literally this week. You may already be watching this and BG3 is already upon us, to which it's going to be some happy days. But that is it regarding my starting romance guide for BG3. I hope that this has been somewhat helpful for you in terms of finding love, getting some tips and tricks. Ultimately, be yourself and you will naturally gravitate to one of these characters, I am sure. Let me know who you're all personally excited to romance in BG3, who you're initially attracted to and why. I'd love to hear all of your thoughts down below. But until next one, I've been Jackdaw and I should go. Whoa, 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 whoa.